so enlivened hearing that realization. I was almost like, wait, let's pivot the whole course of this lecture. But I think it will all it'll all tie in. So wishing everybody a wonderful, blissful Ekadashi. This is one of those times of year where the planets do things and then we do things and then everything works a little bit strangely. So, can everybody hear me? Everybody's, yeah? Okay, good. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. In the vein of the earlier realization about things that are not to be taken lightly in our lives, in our connections, in these lives that we are all living, one devotee, and he's been in this assembly before, Nartam Nitai Prabhu, he said that his Guru Maharaj stated that all of us are living out our own Bhagavatam story. It simply is that it hasn't been written down the way we see it in the 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam with a word-for-word translation and a commentary and a purport, but all of us are living our own Bhagavatam story. And in thinking and in reading about the glories of this Ekadashi, I was reading and then I took such a heavy, heavy sigh. I was just, and I realized we are all, one, so incredibly difficult to please. We are all such complete brats. Okay, I won't speak for the entire assembly, but I will expose myself. I'm difficult to please, ill-advised by my mind, but with the best advice from the assembled Vaishnavas. And yet and still, I listen to the ill advice of my mind. I am such a complete brat when it comes to Krishna's mercy. I take it for granted. I do not take it seriously enough. I do not put the proper faith into it. And yet, Krishna is the easiest to please. And then I doubt that. I doubt Krishna's mercy constantly. I am a constant offender of taking the holy names and the glories of the holy names and the glories of fasting days like Ekadashi to be imagination. It is offensive how incredibly nonchalant, lackluster, cavalier I am about the mercy that is raining down on all of us every single day, every single moment. I completely take for granted how pleased and how easy it is to please Krishna. And then, of course, what would my actions be without some proper backing and strength behind them? Then I hurl all kinds of grievances at Krishna. How could you? Why have you not blessed me the way I thought I should be blessed? at any and all given moments? Why have you not given me all the things that I think I should have? Why have you not done for me all the things that I think you should do? Why have you not appeared before me and spoken to me and given me all of the superpowers that I believe that should be mine? I speak to Krishna about all of the things that he has not done every single day. But how often, how often do I stop to make a running list of all of the things that Krishna has done for me? Right? I have to go and train my mind to start looking for all of the things that Krishna has done for me. And then I interact with the world and I say things like, well, you know, prayer is the least I can do. With all the disrespect for myself that I can muster, who do I think I am? And, you know, I'm refraining from like pointing the finger anywhere else but at me, yes? But if you feel like any of this resonates, I would urge us to take this with the heaviest, strongest kind of weight that we can put on it. Really, who do I think I am? The entitlement that comes so much. And I find new things to be entitled to every day. I find more grievances every day. Krishna, how could you do this to me? Look at all of these things that you're look at all of the difficulties that I'm running into in my life. Never, conversely, thinking about how much Krishna has saved me from. Never thinking about what my plight was supposed to be. However, Christians and my mom always like to say, there but for the grace of God go I. Right? Never thinking, if the same situation had come up in my life without Krishna's mercy, it would have been a recipe for complete and total annihilation. I, take for granted how precariously this life is teetering. And so sometimes when I research or I read in different Puranas and I'm reading about the glories of Ekadashi, and I'm thinking about all of these incredible, innumerous blessings that Krishna is giving us every single day. And then I read them. And then my mind goes, but will it really work? But is that really what we have to do? But like, what if I missed doing whatever I was supposed to do yesterday? And then I tell my mind, I'm like, well, what if you missed chanting japa yesterday, what are you going to do about it today? Can you go and reverse time and get all of those moments back? No? So then the best thing is simply pick yourself up and then chant today. This was kind of like a argument that I had yesterday with myself. But it went a little bit more like, oh, just don't feel like it. And imagine me, who's always praying for something, right? So many of us are always praying for something. I could somehow or other feel like, I just don't feel like it. I don't know, it's hot today. I don't know, it's humid today. I don't know, I'm just feeling kind of, I don't know. And then Krishna's mercy stepped in. And I walked out into my living room. And my 13-year-old was sitting on the couch chanting japa. And somehow or other, because she was sitting on the couch chanting japa, I thought to myself, well, the least I could do is set a good example. And so without saying any words, I sat down and also started chanting my japa. And immediately it felt like, oh, I remember what it was like to breathe again. What was I complaining about again? What was my issue? And in that moment, I was so thankful for devotee association, no matter what the age of the devotee. I realized this is Krishna's mercy. by hook or by crook, by any means necessary, he's going to find a way to somehow turn our minds around, make a shift within the heart. Our relationships with each other, as Jeffrey Prabhu was saying, are not to be taken lightly. Because these are examples and exhibitions of Krishna's mercy. And sometimes the smallest amount of association is enough to remind us, oh yeah, this is what that felt like. Anybody ever have really bad allergies? And then you take the allergy medication, everything clears up. The eyes are no longer itchy. Everything feels nice. You no longer feel the scratchiness in the throat. And you go, whew, that's what that was like. This is the effect of the holy name. There's a transcendental relief that comes over us if we allow it. And sometimes when our mind doesn't want to allow it, Krishna sends reinforcements. He sends the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and spiritual teachers. And even when it seems like we're just about to dodge that, he sends endless streams of devotees to remind us. Just think of me. Just remember me. So this is what I was thinking of while I was reading the Glories of Kamika Ekadashi. Let's see how quickly we can read them. The saintly King Yudhishthira Maharaj said, O Supreme Lord, I have heard from you the glories of fasting on Devashayani Ekadashi, which occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Ashad. Now I would like to hear from you the glories of the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark fortnight, Krishna Paksh, of the month of Shravan, July, August. O Govinda Dev, please be merciful to me and explain its glories. O Supreme Vasudev, I offer my humble obeisances unto you. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna replied, O King, please listen attentively as I describe the auspicious influence of this holy fast or Vrat day, which removes all sins. Narada Muni once asked Lord Brahma about this same topic. O Regent of all beings, said Naraji, O you who sit upon a water-borne lotus throne, please tell me the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark fortnight of the sacred month of Shravan. Please also tell me which deity is to be worshipped on that holy day, the process one must follow to observe it, and the merit it awards. Lord Brahma replied, My dear son Narada, for the benefit of all humanity, I shall happily tell you everything you wish to know. For just hearing the glories of the Kamika Ekadashi bestows merit equal to that obtained by one who performs a horse sacrifice, which is impossible for all of us to perform, but gives incredible and unlimited merits and benefits and all kinds of celestial things and powers and everything that we could ever hope for. It gives one opulence, it gives one followers, it gives one fame in this life and the next life. It means even the demigods are talking about us. And yet we can't perform a horse sacrifice, but we can just listen to the glories of Ekadashi. And Sri Krishna says, don't worry, I'll give you the same merit. Why? At this point, why? Because I cannot see that I have done anything to warrant these blessings and that kind of merit. I haven't done anything, but Srila Prabhupada has. And I happen to be wearing a Srila Prabhupada shirt. You can't see it right now, but he's really, really big on the shirt. Srila Prabhupada has. On the basis of the prayers of Srila Prabhupada, somehow or other, we have tripped and fallen headfirst into mercy that we did not deserve. Has anybody ever seen their dramatic reality TV shows and you catch someone cheating on their spouse or significant other and the people go, I don't know, it just happened. And everybody goes, it can't just happen. Except for this is what's happened with us in Krishna's mercy. We didn't know where to find it. We didn't even know where to go looking for it. We definitely, somehow or other, I definitely did not deserve it, but somehow I tripped, fell headlong into Krishna's mercy. And now here I am, doubting the efficacy of Krishna's mercy. So, let me encourage my mind and my heart to simply accept the mercy. Certainly, great merit is attained by one who worships and who also meditates on the lotus feet of the four-armed Lord Gadadhar, who holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus in his hands, and who is also known as Sridhar, Hari, Vishnu, Madhava, and Madhusudana. Now, from the commentaries of Srimad Bhagavatam, I found a very, very wonderful point that I have taken now, and I'm adding it to everything. When we hear about the Lord who is four-armed and holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus in his hands, and sometimes we're wondering, what does that mean for us who worship Sri Krishna, who is celebrated as having two hands, and this is the form that we should always worship at all times? It means this is the same Lord who seems as though he can have so many hands to bless his devotees, to uplift and uproot their problems and give them all protection. And it is the same Lord who either holds a disc, club, lotus, and conch in his hands, or who has imprinted on his palms the beautiful symbols of a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus. So it works for both. And the blessings achieved by such a person or devotee who worships Lord Vishnu exclusively are far greater than those achieved by one who takes a sacred bath in the Ganges at Kashi, Varanasi, in the forest of Naimisharanya, or at Pushkar, which is the only place on the planet where I am formally worshipped. So the blessings achieved by a person who worships Lord Vishnu are far greater than somebody who does all of these spiritual activities. But one who observes this Kamika Ekadashi and also worships Lord Shri Krishna achieves greater merit than one who has darshan of Lord Kedarnath, Lord Shiva, in the Himalayas, or one who bathes at Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse, or one who donates the whole earth in charity, including its forests and oceans, or one who bathes in the Gandaki River, where the sacred shalagrams are found, or the Godavari River on a full moon day that falls on a Monday when Leo and Jupiter are conjunct. We can't even make the astrological calculations for all of that. And yet, Krishna is giving away mercy wholesale. Just observe Ekadashi and worship Shri Krishna. What I love is Srila Prabhupada also always adds in, and just be happy. Chant the holy name and just be happy. And here I am fighting against happiness every day. And then blaming Krishna for not making me happy. And never does he say, I have given you so much mercy, you know what, I'm done. Never. My Lord is so unlimitedly patient that then every day, suffering the slings and the onslaughts of the arrows of my various levels of blame, he says, okay, I'll find a new way. Krishna is so unlimitedly reciprocal that he will find a new way to bless us every single day. Even when I'm yelling at him, telling him the various ways in which he did not bless me. One, that's absurd, because I don't even know the many ways that he's blessed me. I can't even tell the amount of ways that he has placed me under the umbrella of his mercy. This Ekadashi day is simply one of the unlimited ways that Krishna has blessed me with his mercy. To be able to wake up and see this Ekadashi day alone is a blessing. To be able to hear just a few lines from the glories of this Ekadashi day is a blessing. To be able to even utter the name of Sri Krishna, especially on a day like today, is an incredible blessing. My goal is to stop taking all of these blessings for granted. Yes, I will forget that goal tomorrow, but hopefully I will remember the goal the day after tomorrow. And so the point is, no matter how many times we forget, just keep trying. Do your best. Your best is perfect. Observing Kamika Ekadashi bestows the same merit as donating a milk cow and her auspicious calf along with their feed. On this all-auspicious day, whosoever worships Lord Sridhardev Vishnu is glorified by all the devas, Gandharvas, Panagas, and Nagas. This Ekadashi is the purest of all days and the most powerful for removing sins of the native who fasts on that day. O Naraji, Lord Sri Hari himself once said about this Ekadashi, one who fasts on Kamika Ekadashi attains much more merit than one who studies all the spiritual literatures. Anyone who fasts on this particular day, remains awake throughout the night, will never experience the anger of Yamaraj, the king of death personified. It has been seen that whoever observes Kamika Ekadashi will not have to suffer future births, and in the past too, many yogis of devotion who fasted on this day went to the spiritual world. One should therefore follow in their auspicious footsteps, and strictly observe a fast on this most auspicious of Ekadashis. Whosoever worships Lord Sri Hari with tulsi leaves is freed from all implication of sin. Indeed, he lives untouched by sin, as the lotus leaf, although in the water, is untouched by it. Whosoever offers Lord Sri Hari but a single leaf from the sacred tulsi attains as much merit as one who gives away in charity 200 grams of gold and 800 grams of silver. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is more pleased by one who offers him a single tulsi leaf than by one who worships him with pearls, rubies, topaz, diamonds, lapis lazuli, sapphires, gometa stones or gomas, cat's eye gems, and coral. One who offers Lord Keshava newly grown manjari buds from the tulsi plant gets rid of all the sins he has committed during this or any other lifetime. Indeed, mere darshan of tulsi on Kamika Ekadashi removes all sins, and merely touching her and praying to her removes all kinds of disease. One who waters Tulsi Devi need never fear the Lord of Death Yamaraj. One who plants or transplants Tulsi on this day will eventually reside with Lord Sri Krishna in his own abode. To Srimati Tulsi Devi, who awards liberation in devotional service, one should therefore daily offer one's full obeisances. Even Chitragupta, Yamaraj's secretary, cannot calculate the merit obtained by one who offers Srimati Tulsi Devi a perpetually burning ghee lamp. So dear is this sacred Ekadashi to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that all the forefathers of one who offers a bright ghee lamp to Lord Sri Krishna on this day ascend to the heavenly planets and drink the celestial nectar there from one ghee lamp. Whoever offers a ghee or sesame oil lamp to Lord Sri Krishna on this day is freed from all sins and enters the abode of Surya, the sun god, with a body as bright as 10 million lamps. This Ekadashi is so powerful that if one who is unable to fast simply follows the practices as mentioned herein, he or she is elevated to the heavenly planets along with all their forefathers. Oh, Maharaj Yudhishthir, Lord Sri Krishna concluded, these were the words of Prajapati Brahma to his son, Narada Muni, concerning the incalculable glories of this Kamika Ekadashi, which removes all sins. This sacred day nullifies even the sin of killing a Brahmana, or the sin of killing an unborn child in the womb, and it promotes one to the spiritual world by making one supremely meritorious. One who kills the innocent, i.e. a Brahmana, a child in the womb, a pious and spotless woman, etc., and then later hears about the glories of Kamika Ekadashi, will be relieved of the reactions to one's sins. However, one should not think beforehand that one can kill a Brahmin or other innocent folk and then go unpunished simply by hearing of this Ekadashi. Such knowing commission of sin is an abomination. Whosoever hears these glories of the Kamika Ekadashi with faith becomes free of all sins and returns home back to Godhead, Vishnu Loka Vaikunta, Thus ends the narration of the glories of the Shravan Krishna Ekadashi, or Kamika Ekadashi, from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. And so, before we do anything else, we can offer our respectful obeisances to Tulsi Maharani and just envision her in our mind. Vrindaya Tulasi Devya Priya Keshava Shuja Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavatya Namo Namah. Vrindaya Tulasi Devya Priya Keshava Shuja Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavatya Namo Namah. Vrindaya Tulasi Devya Priya Keshava Shuja Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavatya Namo Namah. Vrinda Devi Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Because somehow or other, simply worshiping her, honoring her today gives all kinds of incredible benefit. And simply fasting on this Ekadashi enables us, as Bhima says, to leave the horses alone. We don't have to perform any horse sacrifices. Krishna is simply, and when I say simply, I mean monumentally, throwing mercy at us, left, right, center, with all arms that are available to him. He has so much mercy to give us. All we have to do is allow ourselves to get caught in the rain. Don't put up any umbrellas when there's a downpour of mercy coming for us. This season is characterized very much by lots of rain in India. And if you are in New York, it tends to be a little bit of monsoon season for us also. Don't put up any umbrellas. Not when Krishna's mercy is there. We are constantly begging him, "Oh my Lord, oh Vaishnavas, oh beloved spiritual master, you have all access to Krishna's mercy. I am begging you." We are begging for a downpour of Krishna's mercy. And then imagine the downpour occurs and then we run away from it. Oh no! All we have to do is take with faith the blessings of these wonderful days that are available to us. Offering Krishna a single Tulsi leaf. Okay, if we can't do that, just look at Tulsi. We can touch Tulsi. Or, then if we can't do that, no problem. Print out a picture of Vrinda Devi and Tulsi Maharani, and then offer a ghee lamp. Somehow or other, Krishna is constantly saying, okay, if you can't do that, just do this. Okay, if you can't do that, just do this. Okay, if you can't do that, just do this. All we have to do is to do the best that we can with whatever we have. Even if whatever we have is simply within the mind. And failing all of that, if we feel as though we cannot do any of that, all we have to do is simply hear the glories of this Kamika Ekadashi with faith. And then act upon that faith. Because that's something. If we have faith and conviction in something, usually we are acting in accordance with that. We might not have faith that the laws of the land in which we live will work, but we do have faith that if we get caught, we don't want those consequences. So we usually act in accordance with the laws of the land. I say usually. Right? So maybe we don't have faith in the laws of the land, but we do have faith that we don't like the consequences that come from not acting in accordance with them. So then we act in accordance with them. So then the question becomes, do we have any faith in anything? The laws of this material world, the mercy of devotional service, or even the consequences? Because, interestingly enough, I read this, and as I was reading this, I happened to move my foot, and I had somehow unknowingly stepped on a bug. It was already done. I had no knowledge of it whatsoever. And then I happened to read that the Ekadashi completely frees one from all of the sins, which I was very happy for. because I am a person who often is thinking that there is a Paramatma and a spirit soul in every single one of these creatures. And it happened to be a centipede, and then I found 2 more centipedes, and then I caught them and put them back outside. But what I mean is, Krishna is constantly saving me. And he's saving me exactly when I need saving. Whether I know that that moment has come or not. Somehow or other, Krishna is constantly saving me. And so, as I was like, oh, sorry, that Paramatma had left, what I also thought was, Krishna saved me. And then, what I also thought was, imagine Krishna having so much faith in all of us that there is a living entity that somehow had to leave its body. And then Krishna says, okay, I'll have you leave your body on the day of Ekadashi, under the foot of my devotee. So when I ask myself, is it when, sometimes we think good karma, bad karma, Krishna somehow reconciles everything. Krishna reconciles everything. Even the things that we could never foresee, Krishna is reconciling. So this is my goal, is to, like I said, really, really not take for granted the glories of this Ekadashi day. And not take for granted all of the wonderful mercy that is afforded to us. Somebody's asking, can I have chai tea with milk today, since that is my daily drink that I have before breakfast? It depends. The chai, if it contains black tea with the caffeine, usually no. Because technically, we're not supposed to have that on regular days. But if it is just a chai with spices, i.e. saffron and some ginger and some other things, I'm sure. So thank you so much. I already see them. I see the questions are happening. Gorangalila, tell me something.
Can you please tell more about the glories of Tulsi Devi, like when we were worshiping about today?
That was all that they gave me from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. And so...
Yeah, can you tell them again?
Sure. One more time. Let's see. Whosoever worships Lord Sri Hari with Tulsi leaves is freed from all implication of sin. Indeed, he lives untouched by sin, as the lotus leaf, although in the water, is untouched by water. Whosoever offers Lord Sri Hari but a single leaf from the sacred Tulsi tree attains as much merit as one who gives away in charity 200 grams of gold and 800 grams of silver. I have neither, but I do have Tulsi leaves. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is more pleased by one who offers him a single Tulsi leaf than by one who worships him with pearls, rubies, topaz, diamonds, lapis lazuli, sapphires, gometa stones or gomaz, cat's eye gems, and coral. As a collector of crystals, I only have some of those, but I definitely do not have all of those. And I definitely could not offer them all to Krishna, but I do have Tulsi leaves. One who offers Lord Keshava newly grown manjari buds from the Tulsi plant gets rid of all the sins he has committed during this or any other lifetime. Indeed, mere darshan of Tulsi on Kamika Ekadashi removes all sins, and merely touching her and praying to her removes all kinds of disease. One who waters Tulsi Devi need never fear the Lord of Death, Yamaraj. One who plants or transplants Tulsi on this day will eventually reside with Lord Sri Krishna in his own abode. To Srimati Tulsi Devi, who awards liberation in devotional service, one should therefore daily offer one's full obeisances. Even Chitragupta, Yamaraj's secretary, cannot calculate the merit obtained by one who offers Srimati Tulsi Devi a perpetually burning ghee lamp. And then we talk about offering ghee lamps to the Lord. So, those are already innumerable glories and blessings, and it gets merit because I cannot offer all of those things to Krishna. But I do have tulsi leaves.
Thank you. Wonderful class.
Hold on. Wonderful class. Thank you very much. I have a question. How do we recognize that what's falling from the sky is the rain of mercy, not a calamity? Sometimes we think, oh, I should hide. This is painful. And we run away. How do we recognize mercy?
Yeah. I have a question though. Have any of us been able to dodge the miseries? It's like Prahlad Maharaj asks in Srimad Bhagavatam, does anybody ask for a fever? But it comes anyway by the order and the working of material nature. So, if I think in that way, then wherever I step is Krishna's mercy. Because somehow Krishna has promised, my mercy follows the mercy of my devotees. And if I am simply trying to follow Srila Prabhupada, then therein, in those footprints, there is Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna's mercy is going to follow Srila Prabhupada's mercy and the mercy of the devotees. So we run to gatherings like this. How can we recognize where the drops of mercy are? Our spiritual masters have walked there. They have given us a footpath. Anybody knows, right? When it gets snowy in New York, or snowy anywhere, if you are a small person like me, I am always looking for somebody else's footprints who have already seen how deep the snow is, because I'm short and I have gotten into the situations where I put my foot down and then I'm up to my hip in snow. I'm like, oh, this is a problem. So then I've taken to looking for other people's footprints and saying, okay, there's a safe path. So just like when we're trying to find safe pathways in snow, we can find a safe pathway toward Krishna's mercy. We simply run and try to find those footprints of our spiritual masters.
Nice. Such a wonderful answer. It wasn't vague or anything. It was just clear. Go where Srila Prabhupada is. That's where the mercy is. Nice. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Next question or reflection, please. Temple.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Fantastic class as usual. And glorifying, we really appreciate how we've heard how wonderful Krishna is, that he's providing such mercy. And some people are thinking that there is no such thing as sin. But other people understand, I have done something or neglected to do something. And if there's going to be a reaction. So Prabhupada tells us that just like bathing in the Ganges cleanses away the residual, the dead, the sinful reactions. And then bathing in the Jamuna cleanses away the desire to engage in sinful activity and create more dead. But then bathing in the lotus feet of the spiritual master in devotional service, when we pour our attention into devotional service, it's not just removing the dead or avoiding creating more dead. Just like you said, you do this and your sins will be forgiven. It's sort of, I'm not sure, but it seems like we're hearing about removing the reactions to our sins and the activity of sinful activity. But when we engage in devotional service to Krishna, it's not just going after the dead, but it's creating a positive, something that we can engage in positively with love for Krishna. The devotional service is the life of the soul. The lotus feet of the spiritual master is the only way to obtain pure devotional service, unceasing, unmotivated, and then we're free. And I'm struggling myself, to avoid sinful activity, but I'm trying to follow in the footsteps, like Mataji was saying, with my spirituality, by filling my life and my time and my energy and my resources and my desires, filling um, everything, giving everything in devotional service, and then chipping away at the little um, residual spaces where there's no service, where I might slip into something degrading.
Yeah.
Anyway, Prabhupada, thank you very much for a beautiful class. And we want to go beyond just getting merit, or beyond just getting merit, getting rid of simple reaction, to the point of serving Krishna with love. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
And I think I pray that is, I pray that that's our benediction today, as I look at Srila Prabhupada behind you, Haripurush Prabhu. And I pray that on this Ekadashi day, that Ekadashi Devi blesses us with, as Srila Prabhupada says, nectar of devotion, that devotional service, as you said, cuts the tree of sin that is residing, but then it uproots even the desire to commit sinful activities, freeing us from this addiction to serving our senses and committing all of these activities that give us these adverse reactions. And so then I pray that we find ourselves with less inclination, less desire to do other things. I pray on this Ekadashi day that I have less desire tomorrow to say, I'm too tired, I don't feel like it. I pray that I have more desire to run and say, oh no, I'm excited to chant my japa this day. And not in a fearful, hopeless sort of way, but so excited because all my Krishna wants is to somehow spend some time with me this day. And that is a miracle. And as I was just sitting here reflecting and looking at Srila Prabhupada behind you, I said such a prayer. Thank you. To think that any of us could speak on some glories of anything Krishna conscious, and Srila Prabhupada will listen like a proud grandfather, just happily. Look at how these wonderful children have taken to Krishna consciousness. That I'm incredibly, incredibly thankful for. So thankful for Srila Prabhupada's presence and mercy. Because I know I didn't ask for it. I didn't deserve it. And somehow or other, someone came and said, let me make their lives perfect. All glories to Ekadashi Devi.
Thank you, Chief. Making our lives. Okay, darshan time. Turn on your cameras. Bring your kids. Post it.